Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
A murder charge is filed surrounding a deadly house fire in Moorhead back in June. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
A body was found in the rubble at 1019 11th Avenue South on June 28th. The body was identified as 49-year-old Melissa Jane Wilcoxon from Moorhead. At the time, police identified this man, Justin Marshall Critt, as a suspect. Well, tonight, he's charged with second-degree murder and first-degree arson. He remains in the Cass County Jail on unrelated charges. Valley News Live talked with Justin Critt at a house fire days earlier in Detroit Lakes. No charges have been filed there, but investigators have been looking into a possible connection involving Critt. We're also aware that Critt was involved in first-degree arson back in 1995 in Becker County after he was involved in a fire at the Detroit Lakes Junior High School. Critt was only 17 at the time, but stood trial as an adult.
They try to do what's best for, the greatest amount of people.
Are you holding your loved ones closer after this weekend's events, or perhaps you are more aware of who and what's around you? It's understandable after a mall stabbing terror attack in St. Cloud and a series of bombs found, some detonating across New York and New Jersey.
Valley News Team's Bradford Eric looks into the effects these sorts of tragedies at home have on our mindset.
They're called soft targets, places where people generally congregate in large numbers. We're talking malls, airports, department stores, sports venues, hospitals, and many more. And nearly 75% of all terror attacks in the last 40-plus years have targeted these places. So what does something like what happened at the Crossroads Center Mall in St. Cloud do to our mindset?
I think that it can definitely create a sense of paranoia, but like I say, it's just something to be vigilant about. Keep your eyes open. Look out for each other.
But I think that people sort of grieve and process things their own unique ways, so it's hard to kind of prescribe everybody to a one sort of shoe fits all.
According to researchers with the University of Buffalo and Harvard Medical School, following terror attacks, many people report flashbacks, nightmares, and just general bad feelings, all symptoms of PTSD. Research shows the symptoms subside just after a few months, but the more someone is immersed in the situation, the worse it is reported to be.
We obviously have enemies that don't like us. There are obviously people out there that want to see things burn and want to see harm done.
TerrorismResearch.com lists the ultimate goal of terror organizations is to produce widespread fear. Most people I talked with say they aren't frightened, even though the latest situation happened close to home. Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
We've put links on our website to a variety of mental health services. If you have questions or are feeling uneasy, just click on this story on our website at valleynewslive.com.
Following the attack in St. Cloud, the FBI has asked the Fargo Police Department about information about Dahir Adan. Chief David Todd tells Valley News Live they provided dates surrounding Adan's family's time living in Fargo. He would not comment further. According to earlier reports, Adan was not on anyone's radar prior to the attack. Two victims in the mall stabbing say they can't understand why some people are filled with so much hatred.
Or why a young man with so much life ahead would cause harm to complete strangers. Reporter Bill Hudson explains.
Isaiah Mordahl's shift was over when he met his girlfriend at the mall's southeast entrance.
Couldn't have been outside for more than 15 seconds, and I look up and look out to the parking lot, and I see a male approaching in a security guard outfit.
But seconds later, the scene turned shocking. That's when the man unfolded a knife, asked a woman how she was, and then stabbed her.
He ran over to his left, stabbed another man, at which point I'm screaming to her, "Run, we need to go."
His girlfriend, Joanna, is due any day now, and she couldn't move very fast. Mordahl was backed into a corner, pleading for mercy when he heard the muttered words.
It sounded like the terrorist call that they do, the Allahu Akbar.
Bleeding profusely from his wound in his right shoulder, Isaiah watched in horror as Joanna was targeted next.
I screamed, "Don't touch her, she's pregnant," and I started running after him.
Luckily, the blade just grazed the back of her neck.
He just barely missed me and kept running, and he didn't stop.
Despite his bleeding, Isaiah chased the attacker to warn others in the mall.
The whole time I'm chasing him through the mall, he's running from the right side of the hallway to the left side of the hallway, just stabbing people as he's going, just full-fledged running, just slicing at people as he's going by.
Mordahl was later rushed to a hospital. With a nightmare over, a couple looks forward to a new life after a night that nearly ended theirs.
Blessed, yes, very. Somebody was definitely watching over us that day.
Mordahl says that after he was attacked, he wanted to make as much noise as possible so that others weren't taken by surprise as he was.
Pretty dreary out there today. Plenty of cloud cover, that's for sure. Should we expect more rain tonight? Let's find out from Hutch.
Well, it looks like things are drying up in our atmosphere as we head into the evening hours. And in fact, our temperatures rising, responding to that sunshine that you saw in that most recent Skycam shot last night. What a beautiful sky over Park Rapids shared by Tracy Hayes. The northern lights were out in their full glory. There's a look at the satellite. Things clearing for now, but we still have clouds meandering through the region. Look at temperatures. Very nice. Upper 60s, low to mid 70s, warmest in the southeast portion of North Dakota. 67 in the 7 o'clock hour, heading through 8 and 9 o'clock. We will slip towards those 50s with dry conditions. In answer to your question, Andrea, we do have a chance of rain, though, in the next several days. I'll have details on when our best chances of rain come and what you can expect as we go through the remainder of our week.
All right, thank you, Hutch. And remember, you can stay up to date on the weather conditions where you are anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just download the Storm Team Weather app to get the latest weather conditions and even follow the radar live. Search VNL Weather in the App Store.
2 years later, NDSU student Tommy Beerson's death still remains a mystery and the top priority of the Moorhead Police Department. As far as the murder investigation goes, there are few details, no motive, no arrests. Police found Beerson's body a few days after he disappeared in a Moorhead parking lot. Through it all, Tom's parents have remained focused on giving back while battling their grief.
It's just that constant pit in your stomach, and you just wish it were different.
They continue to tell us that the case is very, very active. We're very confident that there's going to be a resolution in the case.
The Beersons Foundation raised $80,000 for a gym remodel at St. Francis Xavier. And that's where Tommy went to high school.
The North Dakota Department of Health has announced the state's second West Nile virus-related death this year. The individual was a man who lived in central North Dakota and was older than 60. The first was 76-year-old Arnold Esterby. He was known as a vibrant and active Fargo man who worked at the Fargo Jet Center. As of today, 60 human West Nile virus cases have been reported in 24 counties this year. In 2015, North Dakota had 23 West Nile cases and 1 death.
Fargo police are looking for a woman involved in a burglary. There are some surveillance photos they want to share. Officials say she's a suspect of forgery that stemmed from a garage burglary back in May. Now, if you have any information on who this woman is, contact Detective Grant Kendall. His phone number is on your screen, 701-241-1390.
We're only 7 weeks away from Election Day, and with that, you're probably seeing and hearing more ads for candidates and issues. There are 5 measures that North Dakotans will vote on, ranging from taxes, tobacco, and marijuana. Many people we spoke with say they try to not let their emotions get mixed up in the issues prior to researching them. A local communications professor says a lot of advertisers will play on emotion because it's a quick response rate in the short term.
So if you want an audience member to get a fast impression of an issue, emotional appeals work better in that context. The con of the emotional appeal is that you haven't really changed someone's mind unless you've kind of cued into emotion and an argument.
Valley News Live is breaking down all 5 measures for you. We started with measure 1. To learn what a yes or no vote will mean, click on this story at valleynewslive.com and visit our political tab. Don't forget to tune in tonight to watch Christine Stanwood and Robert Hahn on the new Valley News Live at 9 on Fargo CW.
In fact, here's a look at some of the programming this evening on the CW. It starts off with The Flash at 7 o'clock, followed up by Mad TV at 8, then it's Valley News Live at 9 on the Fargo CW, followed by Seinfeld at 9:30. And if you have any questions on where to find the CW, we've posted information on our website. Go to valleynewslive.com.
Beth Hool has been a road warrior for the past several days, over the weekend in Iowa and then last night in Chicago. Coming up later on Valley News Live at 6, she'll recap Carson Wentz's night in the Windy City.
And transitioning seasons here in the Valley, showing its signs by changes in color. Your hour-by-hour forecast has some rain and some cooler temperatures. Details are straight ahead.
You're watching Valley News Live on TV, online, and on the go. Always on, wherever you are, whenever you need to know. Valley News Live.